Hiya everyone, I'm Jamie and this is a Dead by Daylight tier list of which killers I find the most fun to face. I haven't written a script for this or anything because it was gonna be an enormous script and I didn't feel like writing it, so I'm just gonna riff it. So starting off with Trapper, I'm going to say fun sometimes because, you know, I wouldn't want to go against Trapper every single game. But it is fun sometimes to just, like, you know, have to look around a loop to make sure it's safe, like there are no traps in the grass or anything like that. Like, you know, trying to track his movements across the map to see where he might have trapped. Like, has he trapped here? Has he trapped there? I mean, most of the time, I don't look closely enough and end up disarming the trap with my foot. But, you know, it's still fun. Moving on to Wraith. Where do I want to put Wraith? I'm going to put him in could go either way, because it depends on the Wraith's playstyle. So if they have the playstyle of just hitting you and then cloaking and running off to hit somebody else, then that's a little bit boring because it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go find a generator then. Or like having to look around the map for somebody to heal you, and then by the time you've got healed, he's back on your ass injuring you again. And there's no real chase interaction. I'm probably going to contradict myself a bit later. But yeah, the lack of chase interaction, it makes that a little less fun. But it could go either way, because if they just chase you as a normal Wraith, where you have to try and figure out how far they can get with their speed boost, say they stand in a pallet and you're on the edge of it, they're obviously going to try and uncloak and come around the loop. At that point, you just run away. You know, it can create some fun chase dynamics, and he's got some really scary add-ons that can make a game terrifying, basically. And the last of the original three, we've got Billy, straight into almost always fun. I just find Billy a really fun killer to go against. I feel like it's been a bit different recently with him having this overheat mechanic where you'll be, you know, having a chase with a Billy and then suddenly you hear a click and he can't use his chainsaw anymore, which is sad because then you're just going against an M1 killer. That's not as fun. I'd prefer it if the overheat mechanic was removed. Like, most of the time, if a Billy overheats, I'll just stand there and just wait for his chainsaw to come back so we can continue with, you know, the fun part of Billy, which is like saying, can you curve around this? You come in with the chainsaw, can I dodge just in time? Yeah, I just find Billy really fun to go against. A bit less with the overheat mechanic, but still very fun. Nurse is the absolute epitome of could go either way, because it depends on the nurse themselves again, just like the Wraith, except with the nurse, it's like the level of skill that they have. Like, if it's a good nurse, you're not going to have fun, and you're going to die in 40 seconds. That's just how a game against a good nurse is going to go. Against a baby nurse, it's not going to be a fun game, because you're just going to do all the gens and leave. While she hovers after you, too scared to use her blinks, and when she does blink, she blinks 40 miles in the wrong direction. So, against an average nurse, I think you can have a really fun game. But if it's either at the end of the scales, it's just, no, because like a good nurse, you're not going to have any counterplay, she's just going to kill you. And a bad nurse, there's not going to be any gameplay at all. It's just going to be like holding M1 simulator with, you know, not the usual benefit of doing gens, which is the fear that the killer might get you, because you know a bad nurse isn't going to get you. There's just no fear there. But yeah, so I'm going to put nurse and could go either way. Myers, I'm going to say fun. It's either sometimes or most of the time. I'm not sure which one. I'm going to say most of the time. Because you have the start of the game where it's just like, you know, you don't know who the killer is yet, and you're a bit nervous because you haven't heard of terror radius yet. And, you know, if you've got an aura reading perk, you haven't seen them, and it's just that initial fear at the start of the game, and then you see him staring at you through the mist, and you're right there, Kobe. You're just grumbling at me. My dog's just grumbling at me. But you have that, and then you have the, you know, the different type of gameplay of trying to make sure he can't stalk you while trying to make sure he can't hit you. And then you have the tier 3 gameplay, which is fucking terrifying, just trying to make sure you don't go down in one hit. So I really like going against Myers most of the time. Sometimes you're in that mood where you really want to do a chase, and all he wants to do is stare at you, and you know that, yeah, because some Myers play in a style where they won't even hit anyone unless they've got their tier 3. It's not the best way to play Myers, and it's not the most fun to go against, but I get it. So that's when I'm putting in fun most of the time. Yeah. Anyone who knows me and has watched my streams and just watched any of my videos, including with this horrible thing included, knows that I hate Hag. I hate Hag. I just hate her. I don't find... I find it slightly more fun to play her than to play against her, but it's still awful. I hate it. Every time I load into a game and figure out the killer is this fucking disaster, it kills all my enthusiasm to play the game. Like, I have to actually try to stay interested because I just find her so boring to play against. Like, most of the time, if she's playing, like, well, most of the time what will happen is she'll lock down, like, 3 or 4 generators, and that area will be a death trap. If you go in there, you activate a trap, she teleports to you, you die. Like, that's just how it works. Or she hits you once, pardon me, applies Sloppy Butcher, and then fucks off. And it's like going against a Wraith, but less fun. If she's, you know, an average Hag, she'll follow you around, she'll, every time you get to a pallet, she'll put a trap down, and you'll run to the next one, she'll put a trap down, and that's just a nightmare. Oftentimes against an average Hag, you'll pop a random trap on the map that you had no way of seeing because her traps are basically invisible unless you're on an indoor map. And yeah, it's just annoying. It's like, if you want to not pop a trap, you have to just crouch everywhere, which is just the most monotonous, slow, boring gameplay I've ever seen in my life. And if it's a bad Hag, she'll often follow somebody forever, finally down them, put 10 traps around the hook, and just camp the person to death. Like, often a bad Hag won't even leave the area. She'll have 10 traps around the hook, but won't actually leave. She'll still be there. And, oh my god, I hate her so much. I hate her growl. I hate all her cosmetics. I hate the way she looks. I hate the way she limps after you. I hate her small terror radius. Right, I'm done. I'm done talking about this train wreck. Okay, the Riggedy Rockter Shockter Doctor. Where am I going to put this guy? Boring. I'm gonna put him in boring. He doesn't kill my enthusiasm, but I don't like going against him. It's just the fact that his power, when used well, just makes it so you can't drop pallets, you can't vault windows. It's just like, what can you do then? It's a bit different, like, if it's a bad doctor that doesn't know how to use their shock, because then it's just like you're being followed by a really slow person. It's just a really slow chase as they try to shock you. Even if they do shock you, it's still just a really slow chase. It's just like, he's just going to shock you until he gets you into a position where you can't vault a window or can't drop a pallet or something like that. And most of the time, I don't know, it never feels good. And then you get in that situation where you're tier 3 madness and you have to snap out of it and you can't do anything until you do. I don't know, it's really boring. I don't even know, I don't hate it. So it's not in kill my enthusiasm, but it's just really boring. I just find his power really dull to go against. I apologise to Dr. Mains. Huntress! Yay! Almost always fun. I love going against Huntress. I just find her power really interactive. Like, you get so much information when she's pulling up a hatchet. Like, you hear the hurt, and then you hear the shring. And you can, if you're looking back, you can see when she throws and you can try and dodge it. There's that mind game, like every time you get to a pallet or a window, whether she's gonna like lift up, in which case, if you vault the window or drop the pallet, she's gonna hit you. But if you don't, then you've just got another loop in that loop, or she's not gonna pull up and she's gonna hit you. I just find there's a lot of interactivity between the Survivor and the Huntress. And also, I love her lullaby. I like, she's got a small terror radius, which I often don't like, especially on ranged killers. I don't understand why ranged killers have small terror radius, but her lullaby's cool. I like it that it has that thing where if she hasn't hit anyone in a while, it changes a bit and becomes more angry, and she like laughs maniacally. I just love going against Huntress, and I love Huntresses going against them that try to get like really cool shots. Like, I love it when a Huntress has just hooked somebody and then you just see a hatchet fly within like that much of your head, and I'm like, oh, nice, well played. Try again. I will literally stay on a generator that she's just throwing a hatchet at, just to see if she can throw it again and, like, you know, get me this time. I just find it enjoyable. So yeah, I love going against Huntress. Bubba, 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 Bubba. I don't know what that was. Fun sometimes. I think it's another one where it depends on the Bubba and their particular playstyle. A lot of the times, Bubbas are fun to go against. Like, it's fun sometimes, because you do go against that rare Bubba that just downs somebody and face camps them to death, which isn't very fun. It can be fun if you're in the right mood for it, but oftentimes it's just really boring and just you have to watch your whole team get killed at 5 gens because they just run in and try and save with no strategy or planning. Like any semblance of that, they just run in and die. So yes, fun sometimes. I do like the general Bubba playstyle of just, like, you get to a loop, you pretend to drop the pallet, they lift up, it gives you another loop, you need to make sure, like, if you're in a long chase with the Bubba, you can kind of count their charges to see how close you can get, like how much time you've got until they have all 3 charges. Like, if they've only got 1 charge and they pull up the chainsaw, a lot of the times you can just run in a straight line and they won't catch you. Sometimes, a lot of the time. But yeah, I just think it's fun. I think there's a lot to think about when you're facing a Bubba, you know, unless they just bring Bamboozle and lock off every window, so you have to drop all the pallets and then die. Yeah, it's fun sometimes. I think that's just where I'm going to leave it. It's fun sometimes. Ugh, garbage. Just garbage. Freddy, no. I don't know. It's not as bad as Hag. I'm going to do like that. It's not as bad as Hag, but just seeing the game start off and everyone's got a clock on them, and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Here we go. Here we fucking go. You know, it's just one of those things where the game starts and you're already sad. It's not, nothing's even happened yet. It's not even like with Hag where you get that brief reprieve at the start where you don't know it's her yet. You know it's Freddy from the start of the game, and me personally, I'm pissed because it's just going to be that he's going to get to a loop. He's going to throw down a bunch of his puddles. You're not going to be able to get him in much loops out of the loop, and you're going to have to throw the pallet, at which point, you know, you go to the next one, and then he probably, I don't know, teleports off with Twinkerer. It's not Twinkerer unless it's Trickster. With Tinkerer, and they always run pop. They've always got some sort of, like, ridiculous slowdown. I don't know, it's just boring. I hate the way he looks as well. I hate his look. I know a lot of people don't like his look because it's based on the newer version of him or something, and it's not based on the original. I honestly just hate him. I just hate looking at him. I don't know. I just hate looking at him. I hate his lullaby. It's not like Huntress's lullaby. It's just annoying. And yeah, I'm done talking about Freddy. Pig. I'm gonna say fun most of the time. For Piggy, because I feel like her stealth mechanic is fun to go against, mostly because it is kind of weak. But actually, no, I'm going to move her down to fun sometimes, just because of the other aspect of her power. Her stealth, I think, is fun, because, you know, she creeps up on you, you get that surprise when she shows up, or you hear a roar behind the structure you're behind, and you've got to see, like, which side she's coming from, and if you can get away before she gets you with the dash. It's fun to just see her creeping around the map. I just love her creeping around the map. I just think it's cute. I just think it's adorable. I love booping the snoot. I love her, like, her aesthetic. Her aesthetic is cool. What I don't like about her is her reverse bear traps, which is why I moved her down to fun sometimes, because sometimes you don't even actually get to have any fun with the pig, because she slaps one of those reverse bear traps on you, and you can't get it off, and you die. Like, I swear more often than not, for me, I guess I'm just unlucky, it's always the 4th box. And there's always just some random Dwight on it when I get there, and then I can't get to the 4th box, because the Dwight just blocks me off it. And yeah, I don't know. I think the reverse bear traps ruin the fun of the pig a little bit. Clown, boring. Just boring. I like his laugh. That's about it. Same with the Doctor. I like their laugh, and that's pretty much it. His power gives me a headache. The purple gas stuff on the screen, that just gives me a headache. I don't like all the swirling on the screen. It affects me. I don't like that he just slows you down. That you just get to a pellet, he just chucks a load of gas down. You only get one loop, then you have to drop the pellet, move on to the next one. It's like Freddy's power, but with a headache. The only thing that makes Clown a bit less boring to go against, I guess, than Freddy, is, I guess, he's just weaker. He just doesn't have the annoying map presence that Freddy has. Also, I'd honestly prefer to look at Clown. I think Clown is more pleasant to look at than Freddy. It's meaningless. But I don't like his speed-up battles either. I feel like so few Clowns even use them because they're useless. And it feels weird to go against a killer and their power benefits you. I don't know, that just doesn't feel right to me. Yeah, I just found Clown really boring to go against. Now it's time to make people cross. Spirit. I think fun most of the time. I have fun facing Spirit. I'm not gonna lie, I have fun facing Spirit. I like, even in her current state, I think she's fun to go against. Like, I like trying to figure out whether she's phasing or not phasing, and I don't know. I like looking at grass to see like where she's coming from. Like if she moves some long grass, I like her map presence. I don't know. It always feels like a scary game when you're against the Spirit. Like not in a in a way like, I don't know, Freddy or Hag where you're just annoyed. Like I think with Spirit I'm actually scared. And also it's a similar thing with I guess Myers, where it depends on the playstyle, a lot of them. But most of the time I do have fun playing against the Spirit. And I'm tired of pretending otherwise. Legion, Legion, Legion. Where do I put Legion? Fun sometimes. I'm going to put Legion in fun sometimes. I kind of want to put them higher because they're my main. But I think that's the only reason they're as high as they are. But I do have fun playing against Legion. I think it's just because I know like quite a lot about what Legions can do and what they can't. So I kind of have fun using my own knowledge of Legion against the Legion I'm playing against. I find that fun. I also kind of like that. Like this is where I think I'll contradict myself from the Wraith segment, where I said that Wraith's hit and run playstyle is boring. Well, technically I said could go either way, but I did say that was boring, yeah. Whereas Legion is like the hit and run killer, that's their whole power. But I guess I do like that there's a little bit of a mind game in it as well. Like, it's not much, but there is a little bit of something where they hit you, and you could either stop and mend. With some Legions, that might be the best idea, because, you know, they might run away. But with some Legions, I know they see that as an insult, if you just stop and mend. So you've got to try and figure out which kind of Legion it is, because if you stop and mend right away, obviously against a Legion that just runs away, that's time efficient. But if you do that against a Legion that sees it as an insult, that you're probably going to get hit in the mid, like you've probably been hit in the middle of nowhere and you just started mending and they're just going to stop their power and come kill you just because you slighted them. I think that's fun as well. And I also like that it's not like completely hit and run. Like they don't just hit you and start off. They do leave you with something to do in the way that you have to mend. I know it's not the most engaging thing in the world, but you know, there's something there. And I also like the terror of Legion, where because they're so good at keeping you injured, that you kind of have to stay injured because it's so against your interests to heal. So like that just adds a little bit of fear. It's like constantly being against the tier 3 Myers in a way, because you're always insta down. So yeah, I like going against Legion sometimes. Sometimes it can get really annoying just having to mend all the time, but I find it fun sometimes. Plague. Fun sometimes. Yeah, fun sometimes. I was toying between that and could go either way, but fun sometimes. What I don't like about her is basically just the whole sickness thing. It just makes me feel sick. Like people constantly vomiting. It just, I don't know, it makes me queasy. Which is why I don't play her at all, because the constant vomiting, it just gets to me. God, that made my stomach flip a little bit just speaking about it. But yeah, I like the whole thing with Plague of like deciding whether to cleanse or not. I like the strategy in that. I like that you can kind of force her power on her. Like, I don't play on commons very often, but if you're on comms with other people, you can kind of like coordinate your cleansing to make it so that she has to have her power. Because if you manage to cleanse in every single fountain, then it automatically gives her power, just one go of it, and resets all her fountains. So that can be kind of fun to figure out like how to do that, because I think there's like 6 fountains, so it has to be coordinated in a good way to get that to happen. But I like that aspect. That just seems like a fun strategical edge you've got on her. And I like the dodging the puke. Dodging the puke's fun. Like, if you can just like see it coming and try to dodge it as it's raining down on you. It does feel a bit janky to go against it sometimes, because sometimes you see the puke hit you and the game's like, nah, didn't hit you. Because, you know, it's like a string of projectiles and they're the only bits that actually make you sick, and the bits in between don't. So if you get hit with one of the in-between bits, it actually does nothing. That feels a bit jank. That doesn't feel very good. But mostly, yeah, fun sometimes. Sometimes just the sickness part just is too much. But I think if it wasn't for the constant sickness noises, she would be on fun most of the time. I just can't deal with all the time. Nope. I'm going to stick Ghostface in fun sometimes. I was toying with fun most of the time, but his reveal mechanic is still so jank that I can't do that. Because I think like Ghostface is generally fun to go against. Like, I like the terror of him just being able to drop his terror radius at any time and just pop out of nowhere and you almost get no warning when he's coming. So you have to be constantly alert and you have to be on it when you're against Ghostface, which I just find really fun. And also, I like when you're exposed and you have to like do everything you can to try and outlast the stalk. I find that fun without wasting too many pellets. It's like a balancing act, because you don't want to go down to the exposed, but you don't want to like doom your team for the rest of the match. So you're gotta balance that. I like that aspect. What I don't like is when he's in his night shroud and I'm like fucking staring at him like right in the face, and the game's like, nah. You didn't expose him. You really got to look at him to expose him. It's like, what do you think I'm doing? So that bit's annoying. So that's why he's down in fun sometimes rather than fun most of the time. I've been thinking things that I don't know how to fix his reveal mechanic, because if you go too far the other way, then you get him like it was on the PTB where you could spin the camera around and reveal him. So hopefully not that, but I feel like they need to find the middle ground. They've not found it yet. He's still too hard to reveal sometimes. The Demi-Don Diddly Don Ding Dong Dorgan. Probably, yeah, just there. Just fun, almost always fun for the Demogorgon. I love the Demogorgon going against him. I think he's just one of the most fun killers in the game to go against. His shred is fun. Like if he revs up, you've got to like try and decide whether he's faking it or whether he's going to shred. And most of the time, he's probably going to shred. So you can just like be sure to fake the window or fake the pallet or whatever you're going to do. I love his portals. I love that he has that map mobility, but with loads of warning. So you get the map-wide thing, so you can start looking around, and if you see him just crawling out of the ground, you know it's time to book it out of there. I went against a demo yesterday that had Dark Devotion on. That was hilarious. And also the demo again I went against yesterday was just so fun. He was doing such creative shit with his portals, and it was just so fun. And like, I can't think of much of a downside to Demogorgon. I just love going against Demogorgon. Oni, I'm gonna put him in fun most of the time with his ancestor. They're both there together. Aren't it cute? So yeah, I find Oni fun most of the time because I think it's a thing where if an Oni is really good, there's probably gonna be a lot of slugging, which is fine because it's part of Oni's power. It's just not that fun to go against. Like, I get why Onis do it. They only get a limited time in their power, so just look, you make the most of it while you've got it. But it doesn't make it for the most fun. But if an Oni is just playing normally and not slugging too much, if a little bit of slugging is fine. If they're not slugging too much, I think it's fun to go against an Oni. I have fun going against an Oni. I like, that he has to work for his power. I like trying everything to avoid that first hit if you're the first one found, because you don't want to start the snowball. You want to keep his power away from him as long as possible, because it's, you know, it's such a death sentence when he actually has that thing, because it's essentially the strongest power in the game when he's actually got it. I love the terror of when he roars and you know he's in blood fury, or whatever it's called, I can't remember, I just think of it as only his power. But the terror when you know he could come storming out of nowhere and just like bonk you down. And yeah, I just find it really fun going against Oni. I think there's just a lot of good in his kit. The only thing I don't like is the slugging, but you know, it comes with the territory. It's just how his power works. Slinger, boring. I don't like going against Slinger. I just think he's really dull to go against. I think he'll be a bit better after his change. I'm not even bothered about the gun, like the gun coming up speed. I don't really care about that. Like, what I care about is the terror radius. I'm glad he's getting an increased terror radius, because honestly, it was so annoying, because basically every Slinger I went against ran monitoring abuse. So, and like the add-ons to lower his terror radius or whatever, or either or both, whatever. And it'd get to the point where you'd get shot out of nowhere. You didn't even know he was there. And you're already on his spear, and you're going towards him, and you're going to get injured, and then you're going to go down. And it was just nothing you could really do so much, because by the time you could see him, he'd already raised up his gun and shot you. It's not like Ghostface, you know, where he has to come up to you and, like, even if he stalks you from a distance and exposes you, he still has to come to you. So you get that little bit of warning to, like, you can see him coming and you can try and make a play. But with Slinger, it's just like, he would come out of nowhere, have no terror radius, come from behind a tree, shoot you, you're already injured. That's it. And that's what really annoyed me about going against Slinger. I also just, yeah, his gun just shooting that quick is annoying, but it's not as annoying as the terror radius, I think. He might go a bit higher once his terror radius is a bit bigger, but right now, boring. I've honestly just sat here staring at Pyramid Head because I don't know where to put this guy. I have absolutely no idea. So I think by that definition he has to go and could go either way. I just have no idea where to put this guy. When I see a game, like, and you know, Pyramid Head is the killer, I don't really have any thoughts one way or the other. I'm just thinking this is going to be a game of Dead by Daylight. I don't know why, because he's one of the most, like, unique killers in the game. His power can go through walls, he has his cages, but I have literally no opinion on going against him. I don't care one way or the other. Take him or leave him. I'm sorry for people who wanted my opinions on Pyramid Head, but apparently I just don't fucking have any. Blight I'm going to put in fun most of the time, bordering on almost always fun. Even now I'm not quite sure. I'm going to keep talking about Blight, and he might move up, he might stay where he is, I honestly don't know. But I love going against Blight for the most part. I love his power, I love how just he can just charge out of nowhere. Right, I know what it is. I love that there is, like, counterplay to his power. Like most loops, it takes, like, a really good blight to get around it and get the hit. There's a lot of, like, you know, text that blight use. I'm not talking about that glitchy one, but there's not a lot of text that blights use, like really good blights to get around most loops and hit you. I like that it takes a lot of skill to play blight correctly. And I like that even against an average blight, you still get the fun of, like, just duking his lethal rush. Yeah, I just really enjoy it. What I don't really enjoy is the playstyle of most blights, I realised as I was saying it, what I don't really like is the playstyle, because most of them just run Ruin and Die and Tinkerer, and they will just go towards any Tinkered gen and get you off it, regress it with Ruin, and it'll just be like the slowest game in the history of ever, because you just can't get anything done because of Tinkerer and how fast he is. He can just dart across the map. I feel like that is the predominant blight playstyle of just stopping you winning rather than winning themselves, and they just win through attrition. which, I don't know, Blight is such a fun killer to go against. I just feel like that playstyle just ruins him sometimes, but I'm still going to say fun most of the time, because even with that, he's still very fun to go against. It's just that just knocks him out of almost always fun. Twins. I'm going to put them at the top of fun sometimes. Most of this isn't in order. I don't know why I'm saying I'm putting them at the top, but I think it's because they're just on the borderline for me, because I do like going against twins. I do like that, you know, you get that warning of when Victor's released. I like trying to dodge Victor. I like playing around Victor. Like, he's such a unique part of the game. There's nothing else like Victor in the game, and I enjoy that. I enjoy trying to dodge him, trying to kick him. I kind of feel bad about kicking him now, though, because, like, I put a load of blood points into twins, and I was just watching them while I was doing the blood points. And there's just like little things where like Charlotte will look down and just go like you're like asking if Victor's okay, and he just goes like, and it's just really cute. And I kind of feel bad about kicking him because like their relationship just seems so cute to me. Like they just seem like they really care about each other. It makes it better that he respawns, that she doesn't lose him, but it still feels a bit bad. But anyway, moving on. I do like going against twins for that. I like the variety that you're essentially facing two killers at once. I don't really like the whole slugging, camping playstyle that they kind of have to do if they want to win, because, you know, Victor's so strong and Charlotte is just like a basic M1 killer, and if Victor downs somebody, you know, you have to get Charlotte lugging all the way across the map, so it makes sense to use Victor while he's alive, rather than leaving him undefended to get Charlotte all the way across the map. So I get it, but it doesn't make it the most fun. So I think it's fun sometimes. It depends on how you're feeling, basically, but fun sometimes. Trickster, I'm gonna put in boring because I just can't deal with this guy. I don't know. I like him as a concept. Like, I was so excited when I saw Trickster released because the idea of throwing knives just really appealed to me. And then I read more about his power, and I see him on the PTB, and play against him, and play as him, but this is about playing against him, and I was just like, ugh, this is just, it's weak and annoying. Like, that's all it is. Like, it doesn't feel very fun to just get pelted by, like, 40 odd knives or whatever that just like slowly kill you. I don't know, it just never feels very good. And I also don't like how the knives sound like they're made of fucking glass. Why are they made of glass? Why, when they smash on you, well, they should be going in you, why do they sound like they smash on you? I don't understand why the sound effect made it seem like his knives are made of glass. It honestly just feels like you're getting pelted with loads of glass instead of throwing knives. Trickster is just a big letdown. I don't like the, you know, if you drop a pallet against him, then you're just going to get pelted with stuff. If you vault a window, you're just going to get pelted with stuff. If you loop, you're slowly going to get pelted with stuff. It's just like, when you go against Trickster, you're going down at some point. There's not much you can do about it. It may take him a while, but you're going to go down. And because the knives degrade so quickly, he's gonna be on you until you go down, basically. Because if he puts even like 2 knives into you, he's got to invest his time in you now because he's wasted his ammo on you. So yeah, I just find him really boring to go against, and his terror radius sucks. I haven't mentioned terror radius like at all until now, but his sucks. It's just noise. It's got no percussion or like beat or anything. It's just noise, which is a shame because his menu music is a fucking bop, and it's just disappointing. I'm gonna put Nemesis in fun sometimes, because while I like going against Nemesis himself most of the time, I'm not too fond of his zombies. Like, I like going against him. I like that it's a similar thing to Huntress, where you run at a pallet, you gotta figure out whether he's gonna like ready up his tentacle or just keep going. It's like a little mind game there. You can like fake the pallet and make him lift up his tentacle and then keep on running. I just find there's a lot of mind games with his power. What I don't like is, yeah, the zombies, because you can just be, if you don't have a flashlight, it's basically, you'll be on a generator, a zombie will amble up, and you just can't do anything now. You just have to leave that generator because they're just going to hassle you until the end of time. And unless you've got any means necessary, there's not really much point wasting a pallet on them. You just got to go and do a different gen. And if the Nemesis has Ruin, then bye-bye gen progress, you just wasted a lot of your time, and it doesn't feel very good. And also, if the Nemesis has ruin and the zombie happens to be guarding the ruin, then I guess they get their ruin. You just have to like slowly lead the zombie across the map and hope somebody else gets it. I don't like the zombies very much. They're always just kind of annoying, and they can block off loops and ruin, you know, the gameplay because you have to then leave that loop and probably take a hit. And I don't know, it's just I don't like the zombies. I like him though. I like his power. I think it's fun to dodge the tentacle. I think it's fun. They're fun mind games with it. I like him. I just don't like the zombies. And the last one, the Cenobite. Mr. Pinboy, the Pinhead himself. Boring. I'm going to say boring. Just because a lot of the time, it's just basically you have to pay attention to the box. Like, I don't know so much anymore, but I liked it when it came out that it was another thing to do. Like, you go and you get the box to stop the chain hunts. But now it's almost like necessary, because I find in games, like, I'll go for the box because the chain hunt is so strong. You've got to get rid of it. You can't let it get to a chain hunt. So I make it my mission to just get the box and like solve it and get rid of it, so the chain hunt can't happen. But I'll be doing that. Sometimes he comes for me, sometimes he doesn't. But I'll find for some reason if I don't do that, no one does. And then we just get stuck in a chain hunt. And I don't know why no one else goes for the box, because the chain hunts are so strong. Like, you can't do a generator, you can't do a totem, you can't do anything when the chain hunt is on because it's such a menace. I don't know why people don't go for the box more often. And also, if you let the chain hunt start, it's harder to solve the box because, you know, the chain hunt won't let you, which is really annoying. I don't know why. When you start solving the box, they shouldn't be able to affect you anymore. You're solving the box. You're doing what it wants. Like, it's just annoying. It's annoying on the Pinhead side as well. This is what this video is about. But it's annoying on the Pinhead side as well when you just like get the notification popping on and off because they can't solve the box because a chain keeps interrupting them, which is just super annoying. So mostly, yeah, I just find it's just really annoying to go against Pinhead. And then there's his power, where it can be fun to dodge the chain as it's coming from the portal, but I find with like latency and lag, you can try and dodge it and it just says it hit you anyway. Even if you physically see it go past you, it'll be like, nah, it hit you. Because on, you know, server side, you were actually there, not there. It's just like, oh, what more can I do? And then you just get hit because, you know, it's a clown slowdown, essentially, but in the form of a chain. But yeah, I'm not really sure how you would make Pinhead more fun to go against, because I find when killers have slowdown powers, they're just generally not very fun to play against. I don't know, it just feels very demoralizing to be slowed down and then hit. It's like, there you go, you can't do anything now, I'm gonna hit you. Fun times. I'm really thrilled right now. I'm having such engaging gameplay. But yeah, that's why I've put Pinhead in boring. So yeah, I think that's pretty much how I want to put it. Yeah, it looks about right to me. I'm still so confused. I have absolutely no opinions on Pyramid Head. I don't know why. It could go either way because, I don't know. He's fine, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed this tier list. I'm sure lots of people disagree with everything I've said. So make sure to yell at me in the comments, but don't do that. Please have a respectful conversation. And I will see you all some other time. I stream every weekday at 6 PM BST, so if you want to see me and yell about me about the tier list, you can come and do it to me there in person. And I hope to see you all next time. Have a good night, everyone.